Hello and welcome to Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on MegaPixx Media. Joining me today is Greg Kwong, who is Executive Vice President and Alberta Regional Managing Director for commercial real estate firm CBRE in Calgary. Thanks for joining us today, Greg.
Thanks, Mario.
Okay, so you folks seem to be the first out of the gun, so to speak, in terms of the first quarter real estate market statistics. Just put out today. Let's talk a little bit about those stats. First of all, downtown office market, which is always in the headlines and has been in the headlines for the past 5 or 6 years. I see that the vacancy rate there is continuing to rise, 32.3% now. Tell me what's happening in the downtown market these days, Greg.
Yeah, certainly the rise of about 3% in vacancy rate since last quarter is a direct result of all the mergers and acquisitions that we're starting to see, i.e. the Synovus and Husky merger, and a couple other ones where Whitecap Resources is buying up a couple, I think about Torque Energy. So yeah, it's the mergers and acquisitions in the oil patch that's causing the amount of sublease space on the market to go up.
Okay.
Yeah, for now, and that's the direct main reason.
So when you look at the coming months, coming quarters, is that going to continue to rise, or man, like how much higher can it go?
Yeah, we do expect it to rise, only because when we're talking to all these presidents of the oil patch and oil patch companies and bankers and iBankers, and they're all saying the amount of M&A activity, not just in the oil patch, but certainly across Canada, but specifically as it relates to Calgary. They're seeing a lot of other M&A deals currently percolating in the background, and we'll see that come forward over the next few months for sure.
Okay, let's get away from the bad news. Let's look at some good news in the commercial real estate market in Calgary, in the industrial real estate market. So the availability rate there has dropped to 7.8% in the first quarter. This is what I found interesting: 2.2 million square feet of absorption. That's the change in occupied space in this quarter, which is the largest amount, a quarterly amount, I think, in about 10 years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really a function of, first of all, Calgary, it's a tale of two markets. You've got the contrast of one side of the downtown market, and then in the suburbs, you've got the industrial market, which is absolutely booming. Yeah, it's a direct result of all the e-commerce business that has really been accelerated as a result of COVID-19. A lot of this e-commerce plans for companies was in the works, but they really had to rapidly accelerate that to get people to accommodate the demand for people buying online.
Okay, beyond the big space, obviously the big box space, much of that obviously in the Balzac area, as we've talked about over the years, but the available space under 20,000 square feet, I see decreased by 25% over the last 2 quarters. Tell me what's happening in that niche market.
Yeah, that's actually a good sign. Certainly the e-commerce phenomena has been happening for over the last 3 or 4 years in a big way. But what we saw was, as a result of the oil patch suffering through its woes, all the the plumbers and the pipe fitters and the welders and basically all those entrepreneurs that took up the small industrial base, yeah, evaporated. And good news is we're starting to see, not necessarily from that industry or those industries, but we're starting to see some of the smaller bays starting to lease up. Again, new businesses or companies that are already in existence looking to expand. So that's a bit of a bright spot there.
Okay, another bright spot is the construction and what's under development. Apparently 1.8 million square feet of industrial development going on right now, according to your first quarter report. Mm-hmm. Do you, first of all, the why of that? Why is that happening? And do you see even more construction coming this year?
Well, of the construction that we're seeing, it's all industrial. And it's all big bay industrial, again, to accommodate the e-commerce growth. all the warehousing requirements that we're seeing. Right now, if you look at, as of the early April, there's less than, I think there's 1 or 2 spots at the most that exceed over 250,000 square feet. Everything else has been leased up, and those 2 spaces are under offer right now. So the developers have caught wind of this, and they're just trying to build to accommodate the demand.
Okay, super, and more to come.
I hope.
Yeah. All right, super. Thanks, Greg, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Mario.
All right, that was Greg Kwong, who is Executive Vice President and Alberta Regional Managing Director for CBRE in Calgary. This has been Business Insider with Mario Toneguzzi on MegaPixx Media. Thanks for joining us today.